Hey, this is Matt once again with back to another video. Another paid request, this time for Lucas. Thank you so much for that, man. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, a couple things. I realized, number one, I'm in a different position because I was doing another commentary and I figured I would fit this in at the same time. Number two, I'm actually watching this on this, which I got long ago. So it does have the intro in it, but since most people probably don't find this on YouTube without the intro, maybe I could like tell people when it starts, when it ends, for those who want to follow along. But thanks once again, Lucas, and again, for those interested in requesting pretty much anything, feel free to send it. So here we go. Pause the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. As this time we now have an intro with Draco. That's the main villain, which I haven't mentioned his name yet, but that's the dragon type of villain, Draco. And this is, of course, the Big Brawl Part 4, the last of the 4-part arc, which, again, definitely one of my favorite arcs in the show. And I also didn't mention this is the end of Season 2, pretty much. Now, I do think the first 4 seasons are the best seasons of the show. Season 5, they tried to do this thing called Ninja Tribunal. I wasn't a fan of it. That's actually my least favorite season. I guess someone else agreed with me, because then they did the... I think that's when they did Fast Forward in the future, which has its flaws. The animation's not as crisp as this. It's not as good with the lighting. I don't know if it's the way, like, you can tell it's a downgrade in animation. But I liked the future setting. I liked some of the ideas of the stories, but it was not nearly as... It was less darker, like, it was less like this. Okay, the intro starts. And you know what? I'll keep it going in case you do watch this and it's a version with the intro. And I'll let people know when it's... I'll let people know. But yeah, I like Fast Forward, despite its flaws. Back to the Sewers, less so. But I mean, because I enjoy the characters, the voices of the characters, even through some of the downgrades, I still quite enjoy them. Maybe because it built up so much goodwill with me for the first 4 seasons. I was able... Just Ninja Tribunal, I thought the Turtles didn't feel like they had much to do. I didn't care for the whole superpower thing. I don't know, the future tech was more to my liking compared to these special power stuff, and I don't know, didn't care for it. So the intro's about the end now, so I'll pause for those who want to catch up. We're at Usagi and Donatello side by side. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. The Big Brawl Part 4. I said the end of Season 2. And what's nice that each of the characters have the moment to shine. Just for what I remember, like Donatello does his moment to shine here, helping Usagi out. Like, Usagi is a bit of a badass. Like I say, it would be nice to see a movie or a show centered on him. Let's see, you have Raphael gets his moment to shine, getting Splinter out of jail. Mikey, wins the tournament, although kind of accidentally. So you're given something for each of the characters to do. Like, Raphael gets Splinter out, which then they can get the Daimyo and end this stuff. I think at the end, like, the scepters make everything crazy. Raphael's the one able to keep it down so they can get it to stop everything. Like, each character feels essential in some way. I didn't think it made... Like sometimes in the like 2012 cartoon, it felt like certain characters, like Raphael, was completely useless in my opinion. I like these crowd shots because they could get creative with what kind of alien designs they could incorporate into these backgrounds. Like, hey, go wild on it. Just don't do anything that'll get us sued. Like making one look like a xenomorph or something. Like I say, interesting how at times it does have the anime influence where, like, sometimes the background, there's nothing in the background, it's just a color, or it's just a wave of colors in the background. And that was a really good looking shot where the camera went into the one character's, finally seeing his eyes, the Usagi's friend, finally seeing his eyes in an up close and reflection of his opponent. I felt there was a lot of care put into it. A lot of care, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And around this time, they were getting reboots like Thundercats and He-Man, and of course, this one. I think this one had the most seasons out of all of those three. And like I said, the animation, the style, the action pack, it's cartoon with comedy, but there's certain seriousness to it as well. I think they're underappreciated. I don't think they got the respect that was due to them. I like that bit there, making it think like the Triceratops going to eat them to get information. I'll tell you one thing, if you want some episodes to really see Usagi kick some ass, these are ones to do it. These are ones to look at. And Donatello give his fair shake. It's like, hey, don't worry guys, we know Donatello got beaten in the first round, we'll make up to it, because you don't kick some ass in these last these last two episodes. Well, I said one of my only flaws is with the show. I mean, to me, I always nitpick. Number one, I'm not big on the music. I think the musical score is fairly lacking. Like, I could say that the musical score in the '80s cartoon is much better. Number two, when they adapted some of the comics, I wish they changed some stuff because it's an action show first and foremost, but it's still a cartoon for kids. And but I didn't feel like this episode to me is not dumbing down to the kids. Like there's a lot of action and excitement and kicking ass, taking names, and that's why I kind of appreciated how they can do these four-part arcs, because you can have parts where they build up the story and the situations, so you can have a finale that's just wall-to-wall action. And I think you have like Donnie, Usagi, and Leo kicking ass, and then you have Raphael doing this, you have Mikey, last run-ins of the tournament. And it just goes, it's fast-paced and exciting, and feels worthwhile because it had a bit of time to build up and not rush things. I remember, I talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I grew up in the 80s to early 90s. By the time it was 1990, I was like 7 years old. And it was one of those things where, yeah, I was into Ninja Turtles because of the 80s cartoon and the 1990 movie. Loved the 1991 movie. But as that 80s cartoon died out, as the Ninja Turtles Part 3, that film came out, wasn't that good. And it's all sorts of other stuff. But my, in a way, love for the fandom, however you want to call it, died down a bit. You're getting older, you're getting through high school, things are... You're getting older, you're into different things. That's just a kid show. So by the time I got to like 2099, I'm kind of out of Ninja Turtles. But then, and as embarrassing as it is, when I got to around 2000, 2001, we got a computer as a family, and we started reading fan fiction. Now, of course, there's fan fiction where some lady writes that herself into the story, and she's rescued and fell in love. I'm like, okay, okay, nah, this ain't for me. But there are other stories where, wow, these characters are actually three-dimensional, and they're actually treated like three-dimensional characters, where they have hopes and dreams and fears, and they're furious, and they could be violent, it could be action-packed, it could be like an action movie, it could be like a Rambo movie, or something that like, oh wow, that opens the horizons of what you can do. And then let them into the comic books, and wait, there's an issue where Raphael almost beat Mighty in the head with a lead pipe because he's so angry, and he's trying to fight his anger, and you saw a little bit of that in the 1990 movie, but there could be more to it than that. So then, this, I was getting more into it as I read these stories, and then this came out in 2003. I remember seeing advertisements from it going, what? Like, wow, this is really cool. Like, this looks really neat. There's a new cartoon, and it's going to be like more action, and taping it on VHS tape. And then they began releasing the DVDs, and I was working at Target at the time, and bought each of the DVDs. And the DVDs had like, I don't know, 3 episodes, I think like 3 episodes per disc. Why they did, I mean, they did that because of people like me, to buy each fucking one of them. But I mean, people go, why don't you just wait till the season's set? Well, they finally started doing it, like season 1 part 1, season 1 part 2, and then I think they released season 2 part 1, and then that company was done, and Nickelodeon bought it and did nothing. So season 2 part 1 got, there's not that many copies made, and it got out quick. Even if you find season 1 part 1 and season 1 part 2, there's going to be a shitload of money. Never got released on Blu-ray, never had a full DVD set of this out, so your best bet is to find them on YouTube. Which is a shame, because Nickelodeon, or was it called Nickel and Diamond, don't realize the potential this has, but oh well. Because we had Raphael and Traximus in disguise and get Splinter the fuck out of there. It's called a jailbreak. A jailbreak. If you hear background noise, because the AC's on, because it's hot in Texas. Hot, hot, hot. And Mikey won one fight. Now he's in the finals with this guy that he pissed off in the previous episode. Which Mikey kind of accidentally wins this, but there is a rematch, and he wins that. I think the season after this. I think this is the end of season 2. I believe. Of course, villains fighting over power with each other. So I kind of figure, like, what is this figure? Because this figure, who's the referee, he seems like a ghost, because we can see through him. But he got hit, so he can be hit physically. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, what kind of being is he? He seems like a ghost, or seems like a projection or a hologram, but he didn't be physically hit like that. Does he? And he floats as well. Here's our bad guy with his staff, the staff of teens. Up, of course, big old vortex into the sky, kind of like the end of how many fucking big popcorn movies, like the big old vortex that goes to the sky. I think even the Michael Bay, like one of, was it the second Michael Bay produced Ninja Turtles movie did that? Play keep away with that staff. And this is nice giving Raphael a bit of his moment. Now, I don't know how that works with the nunchucks, but okay. So this guy gets put up and zapped, so does that mean he's dead? Well, I guess that because these two don't die. The Ultimate Ninja and Draco go there, but that's kind of crazy. Like, that guy's like innocent being, and he got zapped. And I guess again dead. I don't know how else you want to put it. Because later on, Ultimate Ninja and Draco, you see them later, and they've been formed as one being, and that's where you get that arc where the turtles are sent to different dimensions. So Donnie's same as it ever was, and this alternate dark future where Shredder reigns supreme, and Splinter's dead, and Mighty lost an arm, and they're older and scarred up. Sadly, Raphael got the lamest one, this fucking motorcycle race thing, which was stupid. I wish they'd made a better one for Raphael. See, even though I love this to death, I can pick some things out apart from time to time either. I'm not blinded by the light. But yeah, these two kind of merged together to form a villain. And there's an arc there. I think that's next season. Season 3 or Season 4, I can't remember. Yeah, no one gives a shit about the other hologram referee thing that got zapped. No one gives a shit about him. No tears shed for Caesar. No tears for Caesar. No, nothing shed for that. That's where Mike accidentally wins. Which Mighty would brag about this a lot throughout the rest of the show. Yeah, no one gives a shit about that referee dying. I mean, I don't know if we ever see that referee again. Like, no one gives a shit about him. No one gave a flying fuck about him. He's like one of the red shirts in Star Trek. Bones, McCoy, Kurt, Spock. Yeah, Bones, McCoy, Dr. McCoy, Spock, Kirk, Scotty, and Steve. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen to Steve. Yeah, already he's bragging about it. Nice little fun way to end this arc. Like I said, I think it's one of the more fun, better arcs of the show. And trying to show a little bit of things to come for the upcoming season. Or next season, give a little taste of what's going to happen next time. What could be shaping up to be. Try to remember what the season is, what the arc is. Actually, let me check something real quick. Since I got this here, just I believe season 2. Yeah, the turtle. Okay, yeah, it's the invasion. That's right. It is the invasion thing does happen. Because the way this began was the turtles being in space, find this robot called. They find this robot called the Future Toy, where all these aliens called the Triceratons want, and they fight, embarrass the Triceratons, escape back to Earth. So season 3 begins with there's an invasion on Earth by these aliens, and the turtles have to stop them. Yeah, that's the way season 3 begins. But yeah, very fun arc. Nice way to end season 2 of the show. Like I said, I know, well, I didn't know, but had to be reminded that, yeah, season 3 starts with that. And overall, it's nice looking back in this show and remembering more and more as to why I enjoyed it in the first place. And sadly, the Ninja Turtles, I don't think will ever be up to this standard, be up to par like this show was. Because, you know, people can doubt all they want, or doubt me all they want, I should say, but what do I have to base on being excited for? Like, what am I supposed to get excited about? I'm supposed to get excited about Seth Rogen's Ninja Turtles? Neighbors Roosters, they're groaning in displeasure as well. I'm supposed to be excited about that? You know, I'm supposed to be excited about... Like, where does it seem as if Seth Rogen then would know how to write the Ninja Turtles? Or give an iota of shit other than they eat pizza and they're kids and they're teenagers and I wonder they're going to talk about sex. I wonder they're talking about drugs. I wonder they're going to smoke weed. Fucking Seth Rogen. I'm supposed to know... Whatever. They'll probably be... Based on past experience of recent years, they'll probably look like shit, be annoying, it'll be a fucking comedy yet again, because yes, it's comedian nature to a point, but you do the original comics, it's like they still took the shit seriously. Like, this balances action, seriousness, and comedy, and it's still a kid's show, but it still seems more less cringeworthy for an adult to watch compared to the shit afterward. And it's gotten worse. I mean, 2012 was bad enough, and then the last show was Rise of the TMNT was way worse. And it's just gets worse and worse for the characters. The movies, I mean, the Michael Bay produced bullshit. Seth Rogen's recent track record, what about it should I look forward to with praise or with high expectations? Exactly. So, anyway, sorry on that rant, but thank you once again, Lucas. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.